Into an immense world where time flows eternal, you shall venture. Making acquaintances, then parting. Embark on a journey that shall touch your heart in ways you have yet to experience. Shenmue, now it is time for your saga to begin.
Hello everyone, this is Steffi, MLG Panda, and today I am covering Shenmue. So, mainly the reason I picked this game is for nostalgia's sake, but before I get into that, let me go ahead and talk about some of the history with this game. So, this game was released in 1999 in Japan on the Sega Dreamcast. It came out in the US almost a year later, and it was created by Yu Suzuki and published by Sega, obviously. So, originally this game was supposed to be an RPG based on Virtua Fighter, but during development it ended up becoming its own thing. They had really, really big ambitions for this game, and it was supposed to be a saga of several titles telling the whole story. And the really cool thing about this game is the interactivity and the realism. They really wanted to immerse the player in this game. So it runs on a clock in which events happen at different times. You have a set amount of days to complete the story, like way more than you need. So it's not something you need to stress over. But it's one of those games, and one of the first games really, where you could interact with like everything. There's gacha machines, there's, as you can see in this video, there's slot machines, you can play slots. They even have like full Sega arcade games that you can play, which was amazing. Unfortunately, as big and amazing as this game was, it was also very expensive to produce. It was one of the most expensive games ever made, costing $70 million, and it ended up being a financial failure. Because, for one, it was only released on the Dreamcast, which already had a low player base. Dreamcast was Sega's last hardware console, and it already wasn't doing great. So there weren't a lot of people that had a Dreamcast. And Shenmue was really intended to keep consumer interest in the Dreamcast until Sonic Adventure 2 was released summer of the following year. Which it didn't really. Shenmue was released to mixed reactions, and it would have had to have sold lots of copies just to break even on the production costs. Later on in 2005, the Yakuza series was released, which was heavily inspired by Shenmue and kind of became what Shenmue wanted to be, I think. I actually have not played any of the Yakuza games, so I can't really attest to how well they hold up against Shenmue, but I have heard great things, and hopefully that'll be one that I'll be talking about in the future. So why don't we go ahead and open the game up. I am playing the Steam version, which is a remaster of the original Dreamcast game, and it also includes the second game. Alright, here we go. So let's take a look at this title screen as soon as it comes up. So very basic title screen. We got the sky in the background, the title of the game, the Japanese, I assume, title of the game, and a picture that kind of looks like a dragon, kind of doing like an Ouroboros thing. As we sit on the title screen, this opening video plays to give us a little more insight, I guess, about the game. I don't really feel like it adds anything. Also, before I go into this, I am going to say I have not finished this game yet. So, the reason that I started playing Shenmue was because when I was a kid, we had Shenmue 2 on the Xbox. Now, the first Shenmue was only on the Dreamcast, which we didn't have, but the second one was released both on Dreamcast and Xbox. So my brother had an Xbox, and he had Shenmue 2, and I remember that it was like this amazing game. It was so cool to watch. It was like real life. You could interact with things. You could play the arcade games. And I was hooked. I loved watching my brother play it, and I would try to play it too, but I wasn't great at it. So I was always a little frustrated that we could never play the first game. I felt like I was missing some of the experience, and the story does like continue from the end of the first game into the second game. So that's why I felt like I kind of missed some. And I think that the disc that we had of the second game like included like a movie feature that showed all the cutscenes of the first game, but it was very disjointed because you would miss what would happen during the actual gameplay. But as I'm going to get into it, I don't feel like I really missed out on too much. Spoiler alert, I have been pretty disappointed with my experience in this game. Now, there are some good points that I do want to touch on. So, why don't we go ahead and just get started? But anyway, as far as where I am in the game right now, I'm about 15 hours in, so I don't know how close I am to finishing it. So I've definitely played enough to talk about it, and I do plan on finishing it after I make this video. And moving on to the second one to see if maybe that one holds up a little better like I remember, but I'm sure my nostalgia is more powerful than the game itself. But enough yapping, let's go. So we got a very long opening cutscene to introduce us to the story of Shenmue. Oh no! This doesn't look good. Damn, they broke down our gate. Did they drive that car up the stairs? Well, the koi seem okay, at least. Oh no, Ine-san! Oh no, what's wrong with Dad? This is ominous. What's behind door number 1? No, not my friend. Where's my papa? Look at this guy's get up. You could tell it's his dad because he looked just like an older version of him. This remaster does look pretty good. And they kept the original audio, I believe. Ow! Ow! What a jerk. His hand isn't even closed around his throat. It's just open palm holding him up. No, not the mirror. Why'd you tell him where the mirror is? Ouch. He just Hadoukened the shit out of him. Ah, the dragon kind of matches the one on his robe. He's got a funky tattoo. No, Dad, you can't die. Who will I eat ice cream with? Oh, what a dark day. And that's how Shenmue starts off. Oh, he fixed the gate at least. From my dad? Well, it's a little late for that. Oh, I can't get that jerk out of my mind. So hot. The way he moved his hands. The way he killed my dad. And how they danced together. Ah. Poor Dad's hand. I'll miss that the most. Alright, so here we are in the game, finally. So what we're seeing right here is Ryo's notebook. He'll keep notes in here as he learns things that are important to the story for you to reference. We also have some phone numbers. Oh no, the mirror was stolen! Landy was the name, and he had a rare fight style and a tattoo on his arm. What happened that day? We don't know. So we got lots of blank pages we're going to fill out later. Alright, so first thing I want to explore is the immersivity and interactivity that I was mentioning before. So I can go over here to this shelf and I can zoom in. And I can open each individual shelf and look inside. Oh, there's all my socks. There's all my shirts. Anyway. So you can explore Ryo's house, like anything that seems like it would be able to open, you can open it and look inside. Sometimes you'll find items. So here I found a cassette player. Ain't that a throwback? So this is an item I can keep. And then there's a cassette right there for me on the top of the desk. Zoom in again. Oh, and I can turn on the lamp. Oh. There we go. Oh, that symbol looks familiar. So now I have the cassette Shenmue. And I can listen to it. Beautiful. Alright. So let's get out of here. No, I couldn't get that man out of my head. Ah, 500 yen. Well, I'm glad he survived. So I'm not sure who exactly Ine-san is in relation. I think she's Ryo's grandmother, but I'm not sure. They have not specified. Alright. So let's go find Fuku-san. So let's talk controls a little bit. I am playing this with an Xbox controller. Fortunately, the remaster version allows you to play with an Xbox controller, but funny story, I didn't know that Xbox was the only controller support that this version had. I attempted to play with a Nintendo Switch Pro controller, and as soon as I would press a button on the controller, the game would crash. So after a couple Google searches, I realized that the game just freaks out if you try to play with a controller that's not an Xbox controller. Apparently there's some kind of thing you can download to trick the game into thinking any controller is an Xbox controller, but I happen to have an Xbox controller, so yeah. Damn right I am. I love how badly, like, Fukusan is beat up. Like, you can see it on his face, but Ryo has no injuries. Oh, and that little ding, that means that there's something new in my journal. So I just got an important piece of information. So ask around to see if anyone saw men wearing black that day. So here we are into the main gameplay of Shenmue. We are going to go out into the world and talk to people and try to find information to hopefully find this man that killed my dad and get revenge. It is pretty fun exploring the world initially. So there's all these people that I can talk to. Let's see. I think I'm going to go talk to Megami first. And then little cutscenes will occur at times. Like this one. A kitten! It's not good to make or to keep secrets with grown men. Oh, that's so sad. That sounds familiar. This seems a bit traumatic for such a little girl. The neighborhood cat. Meow. Oh no! I can't have a kitty die on me too. Already lost too many people. Should I feed her fish or tofu? Just take some of these offerings that people left for the shrine and give them to this cat. I think he was supposed to break them into pieces, but they still look whole in there. Just like me. Oh no, not his butt. What's this Wii stuff? Before I go, I'm gonna go pet the cat. You do get the option to buy food at the convenience store to feed the cat. I don't really know if it makes a difference, but I like to pet and feed the cat. No, one more pet. Alright, let's go. So we got a little ding. So I need to go visit Yamagishi-san, whoever that is. Which, fortunately, I know where he lives. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. The controls for this game are not great. It's hard to turn and face the way you want Rio to sometimes. It's kind of like tank controls, but also not like tank controls. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's not great. Alright. Oh, another cutscene. Sucks to be you, old lady. So this quest is supposed to teach you that you can zoom in on objects to see them better and read them, which I still couldn't figure out exactly how to do that without looking it up, because it doesn't always work. Here we go, Yamagishi. So this is the guy I was looking for. Let's go talk to him and his hurt butt. A little girl. It might have been unreliable information. Insane. If you guys notice that clock in the top right, time is always moving even while you're conversing with people. So if you're worried about time for whatever reason, you can skip through the dialogue a little bit so you don't have to listen to them saying it. So we got another ding. Black car went towards Doboita. Maybe people who work there saw it. But first, let's go play gacha. This is one of my favorite things about this game. So I can buy a toy! Oh, it's Fang. So you can just kind of collect these. There's some really rare ones. And then I can come over here and I can buy a soda or a coffee. And every day, Ine-san gives you 500 yen. So I can fuel my gacha and coffee addiction. I don't know if it's something about the coffee cans, but a lot of times when I get the coffee cans, it's the winning cans. I don't know if it's always the same every time you play or if it randomizes. We get to watch Rio enjoy his drink. So now that I have a winning can, I can go into the grocery store, which I can also buy things in. If I can get Rio to walk over there. I can buy salami or squid legs. And they also sell cassette tapes over here, I think. That's not cassette tapes. There's cassette tapes in here somewhere that I can buy. Or maybe I'm thinking of the other store. But anyway, we have that can now. So I can give it to the cashier to do a raffle for a prize. And I can take these to any store and redeem them. No prize. Why? What happened yesterday? You're not gonna tell me? So here's the prizes you can get. They're different toy figurines. Anyway, let's go to De Boita and see if we can figure out what was going on with this black car. So when I first started playing this, I did find it kind of fun, like exploring and talking to different people and figuring out who you're supposed to talk to get information. But the novelty wore off after a while because this is essentially most of the game. It breaks it up by having the like the gacha machines, the soda machines. Like I can go and talk to all these people, but every time I talk to them, it's always like, hey, do you have any information about whatever story quest I'm on right now? And most people don't, or they'll give me a small hint. And so I can come in here and I can play racing, or I can play with the jukebox. I can do the punching game.
Come on, kid. Think you can beat me?
So let's give it a try. So if you need to pass time, here's some things you can do. And I like to explore them just for fun, but one of the issues with this game is it gives you too much time. The pace really dies down as you get into the game, and it just ends up getting boring for a while. Like, there's only so many arcade games and gachas and people I can talk to before I get sick of it. Alright, so I'm gonna... And see, even this, like, takes forever. Like, I'm trying to lose on purpose so we can get on with the game, but it's so slow. Everything is so slow in this game. And, you know, when I was a kid, which I played the second one, so I'm not sure if the second one is as slow, but I'm assuming it's still pretty slow-paced. When I was a kid, I thought that was really cool. I mean, it was a different time. Life was slower in general. And it was like, wow, this game is like real life. Like, I have to wait for things to happen in real life. Like, there's some businesses here that only open at certain times. So right now, they're not open. Later on in the game, you have to take the bus, and you have to wait for the bus to come to the bus stop. Like, that's super cool that it's like that. But today, we have so many games. Actually, I think I need to talk to... No, I need to talk to the hamburger guy. But today, there's so many games that are simulators of real-life things that add so many quality-of-life enhancements that they're more fun than real life. And... I mean, this game just has not aged well because of that. Like, it's slow, it's boring, it drags and drags. The part of the game where I'm at right now requires you to like work a job that has set hours, and you don't really get an option to do other things than doing this job, and you have to actively control Ryo through his job, which is fun at first. Yeah, this is different, it's new, different gameplay, but then it keeps happening several days with very little bit happening outside of you working to progress the story and change things. And it's like, I wish I had the option to skip working just to get to the story. And so it's taken me a longer time to keep playing this game, just because it's like, I don't want to do the work anymore. It's boring. I want to do something new. And I still don't know how many more days it's going to force me to stay there. So, it's just been frustrating. And it is funny, too. A lot of things in this game, like a lot of the information that you need to get and stuff, they, like, if this game took place today, you could easily just Google. I mean, maybe not necessarily about finding the identity of these men that came and killed my dad, but there's a quest later on where I have a document that's in Chinese and I can't read it, so I need to find someone that can read Chinese to translate it for me. Well, like, if this happened today, I'd just pull up Google Translate on my smartphone. And there's quests where you have to find the location of certain businesses and certain people, and all of that would just be a Google search away. So it really is a product of its time. It has not aged well, and it makes me sad because I had such fond memories of this game. But it definitely does have its own charm. So, while it's a bit of a frustrating experience, it's not all bad. It's definitely not a game for everyone. These conversations are slow. Like, I don't know why they pause and then you have to hit the button to continue the conversation. So now my quest is to find Chinese people. Unfortunately, I don't really have much more to say about this game. Well, I guess I could talk about the combat a little bit. I don't think we're going to be able to get to combat. It takes quite a while of gameplay before you get into your first real combat situation. Oh, I might be wrong. I haven't seen this cutscene before. I am hyper-focusing because, yep, sometimes you get QTEs and sometimes you get to actually do combat. Ouch. Yeah, quite frequently random thugs will just come and try to beat up Ryo, and he'll pick them up without actually touching them. QTs are fun. And if you fail enough of the QTEs, then the whole cutscene replays from the beginning, and you have to try again. And there's really no way to get past it until you beat the QTE. And some of them, at the point I'm at in the game, end up being really long, and you have more than one choice to make with directions. And it does get frustrating when you fail, and you have to rewatch the scene over and over and over. So yeah, not a fan of that. The combat, let's see. So the combat is basically like beat 'em up. And the combat is where the game is like based on, like where you see that it's based on Virtua Fighter. So you have different moves. I wonder if I can, let's see, here we go, moves. So these are some different moves you can do during attack, or during combat. And so you can unlock other ones later on by finding scrolls, or some of them you'll get through the story and you get a chance to practice them until you master them. Honestly, when I do the combat, I just kind of button mash, and it served me well. But if you're really into like arcade style fighter games and you want to do the combos, then go for it. Learn those combos. I just feel like there's no point to learning them if I can succeed just by button mashing. And needless to say, the combat's not really fun. Like, it doesn't really feel satisfying when you win by beating someone up just by mashing buttons. And the QTEs aren't even that satisfying either. Like, yeah, I pushed the right button at the right time. Like, it's not that exciting. So there's not really a lot in this game that's like, whoa, this game is so amazing. I mean, back in the day, yeah, that was pretty cool, but now it's not, and it's a shame. Because I really wanted to say more good things about this game, but I just can't. The more I play it, the more frustrated I get. And I'm really hoping that the part I'm at, like, ends soon, and the next part of the game picks up and is more about exploring and doing fun things instead of just working a job every day. But anyway, I think we're going to end here. Thank you for watching. And please make sure to check out our usually live streams on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where Jagger takes over the Warden, and he showcases games just like this. And if you have any suggestions for games you'd like to see us talk about, shoot them in the comments below. See y'all later. Oh, and it takes forever to exit out of the game, by the way. I should have been doing that while I was talking. But anyway, for real this time. See you guys later.